Hello guys and welcome back to another video here on the FM network. My name's Steve, otherwise known as Levels, and today we'll be giving a non-league club £1 billion and seeing where that money can take them. Just quickly before the video starts, if you enjoy the content here on the channel, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new. The FM network make great videos and help out the community and smaller creators like myself. And if you like me, my links will be in the description for you to check out. But let's get on with the video. So as you can see on the background, Bath City are the lucky recipients of the 1 billion. So we'll set a little scene here, right? Picture this. There's a new tycoon. He's looking to get into the footballing world. He doesn't want to start at the top and buy a Premier League club like Man City did. Why would you bother doing that when you can build from the ground up? Really build the roots of your club. So he's thinking, I love having a bath, so I'm going to pick Bath City. It's a nice place in the world. There's a new sugar papa in town. He's going to spend his money. Right, anyway, so that's what he's done. He's bought the club in his first week. He's made it professional. He's set out his ideals, his ethos, if you will. He wants the club to have the best reputation possible, sign the best players, and have the best youth facilities and training facilities. So that's what Bath City should be doing in theory, but I guess this simulation, we'll see how realistic that will be. So as you can see in the bank balance, there's 950 million, which isn't a billion, I'll admit. But every time I put more than that, there seems to run into issues. But the current transfer budget is 100 million, so it's over a billion if you think about it. The wage budget's pretty high. So there's a lot of money to spend, but obviously they are in a lower league, and if we look quickly at their reputation, it's only 4,000, which isn't the best. So will they be able to attract big players in the non-leagues? Probably not, but they can try. Also, like I said in the intro, they are a professional club now, so they don't have to pay for that. They've already done it. Bashed it out real quick, that one. Onto their facilities, we can look down here. They currently play at Twerton Park in Bath. There's a capacity of 3,528. Poor stadium condition. You'd imagine they'd upgrade this pretty quickly, and it was built in 1909, so if they do build that, it's going to be hard for me to miss. They are in the Panorama National League South. I'll skip 1 year forward in a second, but let's have a look where they're predicted. I imagine first, yeah. They're evens to go up first, really. Ebbsfleet are competing with the Billionaire Club, but you know, hopefully Bath goes straight up and there's no silliness and they don't get promoted, because I want them to fire through the leagues and see where it goes, but it's an experiment at the end of the day, so we'll see. Okay, that's enough of me talking for now. Let's skip forward a year and see where Bath are. Okay, so I've just simulated a year. We're on the 21st of June 2021. As you can see, I'm sat in the job centre jobless, you know, just loving my life. But let's see how Bath are doing. Let's have a look at the league. They only finished first by 2 points. 122, drew 9, lost 9. Let's see if they spent any money. They did spend 3k, and they brought in 2.7k. Interesting. So obviously there's a lot of free transfers here from like Southampton, from league clubs. So at least they're attracting some sort of player here. A lot of free transfers, and they spent $3 grand on Ira Jackson Jr., who looks, you know, non-league. Did he score any goals? Oh, they've only just brought him in, I guess. And they managed to sell Joe Raines for, or Raines for 2.7k. Interesting. Again, didn't do much. Right, let's have a look at their squad. They're paying someone £14,000, almost 15 grand a week to play in the non-league. That is insane. I mean, to be fair, Jamie Butler does look decent enough for non-league, but still to be paying someone 15 grand a week is insane. And he's conceded 38 goals in 40 appearances, but 14 clean sheets. I mean, I feel like you could do a lot more for a lot less, but if that's how Bath want to run it, that's how they want to run it. Ed Francis is also on 10 grand a week, and then it drops off to about 2,000. So they've spent big, I guess, on a centre-back and a goalkeeper. Very interesting. I guess they're trying to build the foundation of the team. Who knows? Okay, let's have a look at their fixtures, see how they got on in the league and the cup, etc. We know they got promoted, but you know what I mean. They started off with 3 straight wins, couple losses, then they went on a very nice little run. Not many losses here. They're winning the majority, but their form could be better for how much money they could potentially pump in if they actually wanted to. Like, they had 100 million and they spent, what was it, 3k, so I guess they just couldn't attract anyone. How did they do in the FA Cup? Did they get into it? They did get into it. So they went through the qualifying rounds relatively easy. I guess 1-0 against Chippenham. Where are Chippenham? I mean, they're also National League. And they faced Bliff in the first round, which went to extra time. Bliff are in the National League North, so again, they probably should be winning. And they lost 2-1 against Fleetwood. And they scored first as well. Where are Fleetwood? League 2? League 1. I mean, fair enough. Can I have a look at the stats? No, I cannot. And how did they get on in the FA Trophy? They won the second and third round fairly easily against Horsham and Weymouth, but then they lost to Altrincham, I guess, on penalties. Pretty bad way to go out, I guess, but their main target was most likely just get promoted and get up the divisions. Right, hopefully when they're in the Panorama National League next year, they can just go straight up and then into the leagues and earn themselves some serious money and start attracting players. I don't think I showed this before. I'm pretty sure it's basic youth and poor training, so it's up to average training and basic youth facilities. So they are doing something. So there is Planet Stadium works of 500 standing capacity, but to do that, they're reducing it by 442 for a while. Interesting. You'd imagine they would have held off for a bit and maybe built a new stadium, but apparently not. They're happy playing at Twerton Park. That's where their roots are. They're happy down here for now. Their reputation's gone down by 40, because it was 4,000, so that's interesting. Okay, so their bank balance has actually gone up to $1 billion now, so not clickbait. It's $1 billion. And they have a transfer budget of 286 million still, and a big old wage budget. So hopefully they'll go into next season, buy some players and progress up the leagues. Alright, I'll leave that one here for now. I'm going to jump forward 2 more years, so we'll be at the end of their 3rd season, and hopefully they can get into League 2 by then and maybe even be pushing for League 1, who knows. They do have the money to do it, but will they use it like that? Let's have a look. Back in the good old job centre, at the end of the 3rd season, simulation takes ages, if you're wondering. Let's have a look. That says 4th. Is that a spoiler? It's because it's the end of the league, and that is a spoiler because it means they haven't been promoted. So this is their 2nd season, so their 1st season in the Vanarama National League. They managed to finish 7th, which I'm pretty sure is in the playoffs. They had a decent enough season in terms of points. They started off the season with a draw, a couple wins and a few losses, but I guess they're winning more than they're losing there. They're pretty consistent. It could be better, but it's also non-league football. You're never going to get perfect consistency down here. A lot of draws going into January. I mean, their results obviously outline where they are. I don't think they've done that bad. We'll have a look at their transfers in a minute and see if they spent any money. But they did end up losing to Yeovil in extra time in the 1st round of the playoffs, so I guess their season was ended early. Yikers. Have a look at the FA Cup. They beat Maidstone in the 4th qualifying round and made it into the 1st round again and lost 2-1 to MK Dons, who are a League 1 side, so history repeats itself. They managed to get into the FA Cup but knocked out by a League 1 side. To be fair, that is what you would expect, especially if they haven't spent the money, which I'm assuming they haven't. The last competition we'll check is the FA Trophy. How have we done here? They did manage to get to the quarterfinals. They beat Hungerford in the 3rd round, Evesham in the 4th round. A replay from Port Vale, managed to get through it and then ended up getting thrashed by Stockport. They're in the National League? That's not great. That's a bad look for them. I guess they got sent off. When you get a player sent off in Football Manager, in my opinion, it's borderline impossible to win. So I'll give them a benefit of the doubt, but you should be doing better than 4-0 with the money that we have. Have a look at the transfer history for the 2nd season. They spent 150k, which is significantly more than their 3k, but still, they did have like 250 million. So that's they're not using a lot of that, you know? So they brought in this Josh Galloway from Leeds for basically 50k. In terms of stats, we're never going to see anything amazing down here. He did play for Leeds, so I guess he never played for Leeds. He was at Leeds, so at least that's our claim to fame. They've got a midfielder from the Premier League, basically. Big money signing, 56k from Accrington Stanley, Zen Mohammed. Again, he's got decent mental stats for this level, but nothing too great. Played for Accrington Stanley before. They also brought in Paul Farman for 21k. The goalkeeper, solid for this level, to be honest. Carlisle's a, League 2 side. Then a couple more. They brought in Luke Burgess for Southend for 35.5k. It's a lot of money, I guess, for this level. He is wanted. Didn't play that great. Yikers. Let's play spot the red flag in the Vanarama National League. And I'll give you a hint. We're gonna call him Nick. I have no idea to say his last name. Big boy Nick over here, right? He may be a star player, but how the hell is he on 88 grand a week? Yikes. Solid enough for this level. Where did you play before? Wimbledon. So you've come on a free from Wimbledon and just had the payday of your life in the National League and he's earning 88 grand a week. Put that in perspective, there's quite a few Premier League players that aren't earning that much and they're like, what, 4 leagues below that? Everyone else is on pretty good money for this level, but nothing on the 88 grand a week. That is bad. That is bad business by them. Their facilities aren't being upgraded at the minute. They're still the same. Average training, basic youth. So the capacity of the stadium has been updated now, so it's 4,028. They're trying to turn Twerton Park, it's quite a hard thing to say, turn Twerton Park into quite a little fortress. But let's have a look at the 3rd season. So in season number 3, if we're looking at the league table, they did do a bit better. They finished still 11 points off automatic promotion, but they made the playoffs. Ultimately didn't make it. 21 wins, 14 draws, 11 losses. Let's have a look at the fixtures and see what's gone on there, my boy. They started off the league very hot, winning 4 games, then very dodgy run of form between that Yeovil game and that Hartlepool game, but then they bounced back. A lot of yellow. Again, a bad run here in January. Seems to be a real struggling point for Bath for whatever reason. Maybe the weather's getting them down, who knows. Then a nice strong run to finish the season. They did manage to get through the 1st round of the playoff against Eastleigh. And in the semi-final against Chesterfield, they just lost to Cheltenham in the final 2-1. Yikes, heartbreaking. And they scored first. This is encouraging signs. I think they'll get up next season, maybe, I hope, to make the video a bit better. But they're doing quite well. They just need to spend the money they have. I don't understand why they haven't. They started off very well in the FA Cup 4th qualifier round against Hampton and Richmond. 1-4-0, then they lost some penalties to York, 1-1 in the FA Cup 1st round. York were in the league below them, I think, so they really should have won that. Onto the FA Trophy. Oh, this is disappointing because I just saw the loss, but they won quite a little run in the FA Trophy. They managed to get all the way to the final with pretty convincing results. There was a draw against Chesterfield in the 1st leg of the semi-final, but they managed to come out on top in the 2nd leg. But then they lost to Yeovil, who I'm pretty sure was a rivalry because Bath and Yeovil are very close to each other. So, yikes. Oh, I feel bad. They're doing the right things. They're trying to build from the ground up, I guess, and not spend all their money. I mean, fair enough. If I was controlling them, I'd spend absolute millions with them. They're almost getting promoted. They just need that last little push to get over the hump. Let's have a look at their transfer history. They did spend a good 100k again, so that is a lot for this level, to be honest. Ben Garrity from Bradford. Let's just have a look at the quality of player. A lot of yellow, not much else. He looks alright, 26 centre mid. Their big money signing was Yassine Arai from Stevenage. Stevenage are League 2, aren't they? League One. So they're bringing in decent quality of player for this level, I guess. They're managing to get people to drop down 2 divisions, probably because they're paying them ridiculous. Only £1,000, not bad. And he was playing at Stevenage too. I mean, he looks solid for this level. Nothing's going to be world beaten, like it just isn't. I wish it was. I wish I could come on here and they've managed to sign some wonder kids, but it's not happening, is it? This is where big boy Nick signed in this season, and they decided, you know what, 88 grand a week for our 26-year-old New Zealand goalkeeper. To be fair, he's 29 caps for New Zealand, so they got New Zealand's #1. It's just this guy's had the payday of paydays. He's loving life. Look at him. As I mentioned, the facilities are getting better very, very slowly. I mean, they are improving their training facilities. The youth facilities are staying the same. If I was to like have any influence, which I'm not going to have any influence, I'm going to let them do what they want, but I would say, hey guys, maybe improve this youth facility. It's going to be the thing that drives you forward, but apparently not. Obviously, it's going to take a while. Like, you can't turn to complete dominance overnight, especially from the Vanarama leagues. Last thing to have a look at, how's the reputation? It's just going down. What's going on, guys? Get promoted so it goes up, so you can attract that higher level of players, so you're not paying New Zealand players 88 grand a week. Finances are just under $1 billion, but not by much. They're 950 million basically, and they still have a transfer budget of 237 million. So the money is there, guys. Between the first and third year, not too much has changed. They are spending money, but nothing major. They're slowly improving their facilities and stuff. So if I jump forward another 6 years, that'll be 10 years in total. Hopefully we see some massive changes and Bath City slowly turning into a little powerhouse in the lower league. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back at the end of the 10th season, still in the job centre, completely unemployed. I'm not gonna lie, this has taken an absolute year to sim, so let's hope something fun's happen. Let's see what they're doing. I can see they're in League 2. The Bath City have been billionaires for 10 years now, and they've just missed out on going to League 1 in the playoffs. Big yikes. Right, let's have a look what's happened. This is surprising. It's not what I was expecting to see. Have a look at this little graph. I left you here when they finished 4th. For the next season they got promoted, they finished 1st. I'll look in more in depth in a second, but let's just give it a brief overview. Then they almost went straight up, finishing 5th, had a little fall from grade 16th, then relegated back to the National League, which I literally was not expecting to see. Bounced straight back up, and then they've been in League 2 ever since. I can't count, I was going to say League 1. Let's have a look what's gone on there. So this is their 5th season. I won't bother showing the National League, you know they got promoted. This is the interesting stuff here. Right, so this was their 5th season. They finished 5th, ironically enough. Just missing out on promotion. They're a bit off the pace, 15 points from automatic promotion, but coming straight up in the National League, that's really not that bad. Let's have a look at the fixtures were that season. They had a decent enough start. They're drawing a lot of games and losing a lot, but they must have hit a run of form somewhere. But yeah, they did here in January, which was notoriously what they were struggling with in the first few seasons. They're coming along quite well. Some dodgy draws here, and then they lost in the playoff semi-final, fairly convincingly to Southend. So a disappointing end to their season, but it was looking positive for them. Everything was looking up. So how did they do in the Cups that season? In the FA Cup, they didn't even make it out of the first round, so yikes, disappointing. What about the Carabao Cup? Again, they lost in the first round. That's a bit more respectable. Reading were probably a Championship Premier League type of side at that time, so that's fine. They did lose to 10 men, though, from pretty much the whole game. Disappointed in New Bath. And the Papa John's trophy, because they just love pizza. They started off well with a 2-0 win. They beat Watford under 23s on penalties, but then they ended up losing to Southend, who are just their bogey side at this point, and knocking them out of every competition. For their first season in League 2, I'd expect them to spend more than £135,000. Tom Conlon was their big money signing of 60k, but I can't check because I imagine he's retired. You hear me clicking. Josh Staunton was their second highest paid player, but he's now a fitness coach, so and he only played 14 games, so I can't even check his stats. Then they paid money for Danny Devine, again can't check. Let's just have a brief overview. They're spending little bits of money, but I don't get why they're selling 300k's worth. They don't need to do that. Maybe they were just trying to free up some money. John Guthrie for 100k to Queen's Park, who's also unemployed now. So looking at the transfer seems to be pointless. I genuinely can't believe they got relegated. They were in League 2 for 2 seasons. They finished 5th, which is great, but then they had a significant fall off, finished 16th. Didn't correct anything there, and fell all the way to 24th, and were relegated, only winning 8 games. Like I said, fast forward 2 years later, they did bounce back into the league, 10th, back down to 18th, so the similar sort of pattern was happening again. And in this last season that's just been, we bounced back to 4th, but didn't manage to get through. Did they make any significant signings that season that I can actually check? So they spent 170k this season. Big money signing was Carl Broom from Tranmere. Again, he's decent enough. Barbadian, actual region, so get him. Who's he wanted by? Basically League 1, League 2 sides. Left back, 6.5 rating, not the best. They have Tom Burnley from Ipswich, the fullback as well. He looks solid, worth 100k. I mean, he came from Ipswich, who are a League 1 side, played quite a bit. You'd imagine you'd have a bigger impact than that. Then again, they're just spending around 20 to 25k on players, only 170 spent. The season prior to this one, they did spend 425k, so that clearly had an impact and boosted them back up the league and saved them from going down again. So Andre Burley was their big money signing from Burton, and so was Chad Agnew, little two-piece from Burton there. Decent stats for this level again. Centre back has solid rating in the first season, 7.3, then 6.9 in the second. And then Chad Agnew, any of these are striker? He is a striker with finishing of 9. Yikers. 6 goals. 6.84, 6.84. He's consistently average, basically. If we have a look at their club details, the reputation is slowly going up. 4,139 now. It was 4,000 to start. In 10 years, they haven't built that much reputation, thinking about it. You'd hope they would. Looking at their finances, they still have over $1 billion. They still have a lot of money there. The sugar daddy's off now. So maybe that's affected something, but I doubt it. Having a look at their facilities, I'll have a look down here instead. They're still at Twerton Park, but they've increased it to 6,000. So in 10 years, they've doubled it, which is pretty good. But you'd imagine, I guess if they went up the leagues quicker and they were in like the championship by now, they might have built a new stadium. Look at their facilities. They've managed to get up to excellent training facilities and average youth facilities. So they are spending money in that aspect, but they do have the money to do this a lot quicker than they are. But maybe it's just a slow process. Like I said at the beginning, you want to build from the ground up. Maybe that's just what he's about. Over the 10 years, they have won the Vanarama National League South and the Vanarama National League, but no actual cups like the Carabao Cup or anything like that. Obviously, we're still quite a low down side. I was hoping for a little Papa John's trophy here or their FA trophy, but wasn't to be. So to summarise, giving a non-league club £1 billion gets you into League 2. I mean, I guess they need to solidify themselves in the footballing world. They need to solidify their income, their squad. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of ins and outs. But in 10 years, they have slowly managed to solidify themselves in the Football League. I don't think they'll drop back out of it now. If anything, they're going to push on. Maybe in another 10 years, there'll be a championship side pushing for Premier League, and maybe they'll even be in the Premier League. So if you want to see that, you can let the FM network know, you can let me know, and we'll make that happen. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new. Like I said at the beginning, my name's Steve, or Levels, my channel will be in the description. Massive shout out to the FM network having me on. I've really enjoyed myself, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!